All right, let's tackle a huge question today. How do you take one of these powerful generic AI models and actually make it smart? I mean, truly smart about your specific business. Let's dive right in. So you've got this incredible AI at your fingertips, right? But here's the catch. A general purpose large language model, an LLM, knows a ton about the world, but it knows absolutely nothing about your company's private data, your internal lingo, or the specific tone of voice you need it to use. And that's the exact problem we're going to solve today. So, first things first, let's really frame this challenge. Before we can even start talking about the cool solutions, we've got to be crystal clear on what we're up against when we try to make a general AI work for our very specific needs. And this right here is the heart of the matter. It's this gap, this space between the AI's massive general knowledge and your specific, nuanced business needs. That's the bridge we have to build. It's the difference between an AI that can write a nice poem and one that can actually answer a customer's question about your latest product update. So how do we build that bridge? Well, thankfully, we've got three main tools in our toolbox. Think of them as three levers we can pull to customize a model. Let's break down exactly what they are and how each one works. Okay, our first lever is RIG, which stands for Retrieval-Augmented Generation. The easiest way to think about this is like giving the AI an open book exam. Instead of just relying on what it memorized way back during its training, it gets to look up fresh, real-time information from your documents to answer a question. This is huge because it means you can update its knowledge just by updating a file, no expensive retraining needed. Next up, we've got fine-tuning. I like to think of this as sending the AI to a specialist training course. You're not teaching it new facts, you're teaching it a new skill. You feed it a bunch of high-quality examples of exactly how you want it to behave, and it actually adjusts its internal wiring to consistently follow that style or format. It's all about shaping behavior. And our third lever is the SLM, or Small Language Model. This is all about choosing a precision tool, like a surgeon's scalpel, over a big, clunky multi-tool. It's a smaller model, which usually means it's way cheaper and way faster. But the real game changer here? SLMs can often run locally, on your own hardware. That means maximum speed and, more importantly, total data privacy. Your info never leaves your system. Now, looking at this chart, you can really see how these three levers stack up. The trade-offs become super clear. See how RAG is just excellent for up-to-date knowledge? No contest. But then, for style and format consistency, fine-tuning is the clear winner. And when it comes to cost, SLMs are often the most economical choice. This is a fantastic starting point for figuring out what you need. Okay, let's build on that comparison. We're going to walk through a really simple but super effective decision matrix. It's just 4 key questions that will help guide you straight to the right approach for whatever you're building. All right, question number 1, and it's probably the most important. Is the information you need the AI to know constantly changing? We're talking about things like your product documentation, support articles, maybe even company policies. And the answer here really guides your decision. If your data is dynamic, always changing, then RAG is just built for that. It saves you the headache of constantly retraining your model. But if your knowledge base is pretty set in stone, say a body of legal documents, then fine-tuning could be a perfectly solid choice. Okay, question number 2 is all about trust. It's about accountability. Do you need to be able to prove exactly where the AI got its answer from? This is absolutely critical in so many business contexts. Think legal, HR, or finance. And here you see one of RAG's killer features. It's the only one of the 3 that can directly link an answer back to the specific source document it pulled from. If you don't need that level of evidence, then yeah, fine-tuning or an SLM might do the trick. But if you need that paper trail, RAG is your answer. Let's move on to question number 3. This time, we're talking about the output. Does it need to be in a very specific, very repeatable format? Maybe you needed to fill out a JSON object, write code in a particular style, or categorize support tickets perfectly every time. And this is where fine-tuning just really, really shines. It is the absolute best tool for teaching a model a strict format or a specific procedure. If you just need a natural conversational answer and the structure isn't that important, then RAG all by itself is often perfectly fine. And for our final question, let's get into the brass tacks, the practical, operational stuff. How critical are speed, budget, and where this model actually runs? Are these non-negotiable constraints for your project? If the answer is a big yes, if every millisecond of speed and every penny in the budget counts, then an SLM is almost certainly your best bet. It's just designed for that kind of efficiency. Now, if you have a bit more flexibility on those fronts, using a bigger model with RAG is often the quickest way to get a really high-quality solution up and running.
So now that we have this decision framework, let's look at how these pieces come together in the real world. Because here's the secret. They're not mutually exclusive. In fact, some of the most powerful AI solutions are actually a mix of these techniques.
Just check out these recipes. For a great customer support bot, you could use RAG to pull in the latest help docs, and then use fine-tuning on top to make sure it always has a friendly, consistent tone. Or for a high-volume internal tool, you might pair an efficient SLM with RAG to give it all that internal business context. It's all about combining the levers to get the job done right. Okay, so we've covered the main challenge, the tools at your disposal, and the framework for making a decision. So, what now? How do you put all this into action? Let's wrap it all up with your final AI toolkit. Here's the simple takeaway. You use RAG when your knowledge has to be fresh and traceable. You use fine-tuning to teach your model a specific discipline or behavior, like its format or tone. And you reach for an SLM when you need to scale up your solution and make it efficient for cost and speed. Those are your 3 core levers.
So there you have it. The pieces are all on the board. And now you have the blueprint for making a truly smart, business-aware AI. The only real question left is, what are you going to build first?